Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Frank Mularcik, and in this video we're going to be looking at my dividend portfolio at the end of July and beginning of August 2021, looking at all the progress we've made and the dividends we received over the past month. And I also want to remind you guys that I'm going to be making my 100th video pretty soon, which I'm pretty excited about. So I'm going to be doing a Q&A for that video. So if you do have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments down below. So as always, we're going to take a look at the portfolio before we update it for the transactions for the month of July. So if we go over here, right now the portfolio value is $1,583.73. And right now about $204 of that is cash. So that's about 13%. I definitely want to deploy some of that cash, but I'm not just going to go out buying like crazy. I want to make sure that I'm getting at least sort of a good deal. So if we look at the income right now, it's sitting at $37.90 on average annually. And looking at the equity, we're about 17.7% into the information technology sector. That's the largest part of my portfolio, which is mostly Microsoft and Apple. And then I think the next biggest one is financials. Big one there being JP Morgan. And then the next one at 11% would be healthcare. Big ones there being Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson for me. And then, you can look at the rest of those here, and this just breaks it a little bit down more by income. So you can see even though technology is around 18% of the portfolio, it's makes up around 10% by income. So it's just interesting to look at those and compare them. And again, you guys can pause here and look at this a little bit more in depth if you want to. And right now we're just in the transactions for my brokerage account on Fidelity from July 1st to July 30th. And we didn't go to July 31st because July 31st was on a Saturday, so the market wasn't even open. So not a ton of transactions there, but we'll download this statement. So now we're just going to run this Python script that I've developed to read in this CSV file that Fidelity gives to us with all our transactions. And then we just select this the file that we just downloaded from that dialog box, and then within a few minutes that should update everything in our script here or in our spreadsheet and add any transactions that occurred into our transactions tab here, and then add any dividend payments we received into this dividend payments tab right here. So as we can see here, the script has finished running and given us a little summary of what we did this month. So we deposited $45 here at the beginning of the month as always, and then we did make some buys. We bought about $10 of Caterpillar here, and then I bought about $15 of JP Morgan, and then $10 of Air Products and Chemicals. So total for the month invested about $35. Did not make any sells. And then in the forms of dividends, we got about 55 cents in dividends from Cisco, 77 cents from Leggett & Platt, and then 52 cents from Coca-Cola. So that added up to a grand total in dividends of $1.84, which is certainly better than we've done in the past. So looking here on the spreadsheet, you can see these new transactions here listed with our buys and then our cash deposits. And then over here in this tab, you can see the dividend payments that were just inserted here. And moving over to see the dividend progress over here, you can see that July was actually a bit lower than April, but I think part of the reason for that is because of that JP Morgan dividend, and sometimes JP Morgan falls on the first month of the quarter and sometimes it falls on the second. Usually it's right at the end of the first month, and sometimes that's on a weekend or something like that, so it gets pushed to the second month. So I think technically it was supposed to be with this month or with the month of July, but I never received that dividend until the beginning of August, so I will include that in the August video. But you can see it was certainly much higher than January of 2021, so that's what we like to see, and it was much higher than October and last year in July. So that steady progress over time, that's all we can really ask for when it comes to these dividends. And looking at the quarter, obviously it's the first month of the quarter, so nothing too crazy. I don't know why this keeps popping up over here, but the first month of the quarter, nothing great, but we still made more than we made in 2020 Q1, so that's something to be positive about. And as the year goes, we've almost received more dividends this year than we did last year, and we're barely halfway through the year, so that's super exciting to see. A total of $19.16 in dividends so far. I think it might be possible to get to that $40 mark, but I think that might be a little bit of a stretch as well. So we'll just have to see where that pans out. Looking at this next tab here in the spreadsheet, it's loading for a second. We'll run this script real quick. And basically what this tells us is our dividend CAGR and our annual dividends. So as of right now, our annual dividends are $38.69. So that's up about, 79 cents from last month, which is pretty good, I think. And that's about a 2% increase. So if we can raise our income by 2% every single month, I think that over time, we'll just continue to do fantastic. The 3-year dividend CAGR did go down a bit. And, I'm not exactly sure why that is. Some of it could have been purchases of, Caterpillar or a company like that didn't have as high of a dividend CAGR, but also, APD and JP Morgan also have some pretty high CAGRs. In addition, I believe this calculation is taking into account cash. So, as we get increasing amounts of cash in the portfolio, that's going to sort of weigh that number down. But you can see, look at these graphs, that generally speaking, these numbers have just gone up steadily over time, and that's really what we want to see. And if we look back here at the overall portfolio, so you guys can see what it looks like, currently about $216 of cash, and the portfolio is $1,631.10. Still right around 17.2% in information technology, which is a tad lower than at the beginning of the month, and still around 10-11% in healthcare and 14% in financials. And then looking over here, you can see that annual dividend of $38.69 and that CAGR of 6.54% on average. So that's pretty awesome to see, I think. And I think in a few months, a few years, this portfolio will be much further along than it is today. So I would love to hear how much you guys did receive in the month of July in dividend income, as it's always motivating to hear how much everyone else is making. Obviously, I'm just making a few bucks every month at this point, but I'm not really putting much of my capital into this dividend portfolio at this time. I'm really using this portfolio as a learning tool to learn a lot about dividend stocks and try to just get a lot better at this type of investing. And then hopefully down the road in a few years, when I'm able to make a little bit more money, I will be able to invest a lot more into this portfolio and see that income grow. But when you guys share your numbers in the comments below, that really inspires me and motivates me to see where I could be in just a few short years. So I'll leave the link to the last video I made on the dividend portfolio right up here, and I will see you guys in the next one.